It is almost impossible to thank everyone who has contributed to the continuing success of the Lawrenceville High School basketball program. The many players over the years that have played a major role in our basketball heritage are players like Tommy Johnson, Bob Montgomery, Greg Ritchie, John and Roger Benson, H.J. Payne, David Gaddy, Butch Wolf, Mike Lockhart, Dave Hasher, Rick Pickering, Chuck Keddy, the Bootman brothers, Marty and Charlie, Chuck and Bob McGahee, David Brooks, Willie McKinney, J.B. Cavanaugh, and Kelly Newland, just to mention a few. I'd like to also thank all the assistant coaches, both past and present. A special thanks to Dr. Bob Kirkwood and of late our trainer, Mike Goodwin. Without these people, the support of the people of Lawrenceville following the team at home and away, the players of the parents of the players, the student participation, and the dedication and sacrifice of every player, these feats might have never been accomplished. I'd like to say that I know that all good things must come to an end sooner or later, but the past 20 years for me has been a blast.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at Lawrenceville basketball. Without a doubt, the Indians' record speaks for itself. But more than that, Indian basketball teams, past and present, have given the city something to be proud of, something they can actually be a part of. So I guess you really could say Lawrenceville is truly a city of champions.
They've won 68 straight games and have celebrated back-to-back winning seasons. Most of the team have no concept of what it's like to lose a game. They've won 4 state championships in 11 years, and they're second in a row this year. TV10 is proud to present a look at a champion, the Lawrenceville Indians. Brought to you by the Chittick Optical and Neely's Key Market and the Candlelight Restaurant.
Tradition of basketball is rich here at Lawrenceville. Over the past 4 years, the Indians' winning percentage is over 95%. And ever since Ron Felling took over as head basketball coach in 1967, his teams have won 4 state championships and finished third once. In 16 years of coaching, Ron Felling has won 388 games and lost just 77, and he talked with me about winning. What separates your club from the teams that finished second?
Well, I really don't know, Marty, other than the fact that, we've got very competitive kids that play awfully hard, and I really don't think they know how to lose. There was a lot of pressure on them to succeed, and we really wanted the streak of 65 games to set the all-time consecutive win streak in Illinois, and I think the kids just wanted to go get it done.
What are some of the things that make you successful?
Well, I think we work harder than possibly any basketball team in this area, maybe the United States. I don't know. We pay a lot of attention to detail. We work very hard on the fundamentals. We execute. We don't leave a stone unturned, so to speak, as far as simulated situations that the kids might have to get into. We work on our delay game. We work on out-of-bounds plays. We work on fast break. We work on playing all 3 different types of tempos that it takes to be successful. Besides that, we've always been known for our outside shooting prowess. Our kids shoot the ball perimeter-wise, I think, is as good as anyone. And then when you have an exceptional player, such as Marty Simmons, I think you've got to accentuate your strengths and kind of hide your weaknesses. So role-playing has been a big part of our success. So all these things, the fans, you put them all together, and they spell success, I guess.
Winning is a real contagious kind of thing. What do you like the most about winning?
Well, I sort of feel like a gunfighter. There's no doubt that no one puts any pressure on me besides the pressure I put on myself. So winning is like string music, like somebody playing a symphony. You get something goes off inside you that I'd rather take a beating than than I think getting drugged down the street by a team of wild horses. I know that sounds crazy, but I would much rather get my fanny stomped than take a loss on the basketball court. To me, it's the only thing.
What kept you inspired? What's been the force behind this thing? I mean, 68 wins in a row. Has there ever been a time where you thought that, geez, maybe we're not going to win this ball game or we're not going to pull one out?
Well, as you go back to the old gunfighter type segment, if you stay away from ambushes, you can't get shot in the back. You can't, have anybody drag gulching you, so to speak. So there's no doubt we're scared all the time. I think that's part of winning. You've got to never underestimate your opponent. You've got to always, prepare. And, there's a lot of luck involved. And luck is where, preparation meets opportunity. And the opportunity for us was knocking for Ron Felling for the Lawrenceville Indians this year. And there was no way after we got there that we were gonna let down. And it would have been a shame to get that far and not succeed. So I've got to give the players and their families and the community a lot of credit. But the main thing is our kids felt that they weren't going to lose. They weren't supposed to lose. We felt if we get to Champaign, that we're going to bring home a 4th state championship.
A lot of tradition here at Lawrenceville. Can you talk about just some of the tradition of basketball since you've been here?
Well, basketball was very good prior to my coming here, and it'll probably be very good prior to, to when I leave. There's no doubt there's a lot of tradition. The intensity, the players who have played here in the past. We've had 3 state scoring champions. Dennis Scheidler was the first. He averaged 35 points a game in 1969. Dennis Scheidler, his brother, they held the scoring record at 55 points each per game. I mean, not 55 per game, but the total till Marty Simmons broke it was 60-some this year. So there's no doubt the tradition is there, and our kids are expected to win. The community expects them to win. So there's no doubt tradition plays a big part.
I'd like to talk a little bit about that tradition. We'll step out in the hallway and we'll take a look at your trophy case.
Well, okay, I'm ready.
When you walk through the hallway of the high school, it's like going through a museum with team and individual pictures to signify the success of the programs. Part of that success can be seen in the large collection of team awards in the trophy case. First year, 1972, is when they came out with the 2-class system, and you were very fortunate enough to come out as the first Class A champ.
Well, that was a very special win for us. Of course, it was the inception of Class A basketball, like you said, and we did annex the first championship, and I can remember Mike Lockhart getting 32 big points in the championship game. And then in '73, we got upset by a very fine Marshall team. We had 9 returning lettermen coming back, and everybody expected us to win. We were ranked first all year, but we got upset. And then in 1974, we won again with, of course, with Rick Leasty, who was a very fine player. I think he led the state in scoring, and Jay Scheidler was a sophomore. So we won it 2 out of the first 3 years, and we were very fortunate. 1976, you came back to the state tournament and still came out a winner, but it was a 3rd place that year. Yes, that's when Jay Scheidler, we finished 3rd in '76, and that's when Jay Scheidler, that trophy right there signifies a 3rd place championship, the silver one. And he set all the scoring records for the Class A state tournament. I think he had 157 points and 48 in one game, so he'll always be remembered as the Blonde Bomber.
What kind of teams were those in the early 70s? Was the basketball any different?
Well, they were very good teams. Of course, when you have Rick Leasty and Jay Scheidler, 2 major college players, and Jay went on to play in Kentucky and play on the national championship team in '78. So, yes, they were very fine teams, and the basketball was very good.
Of course, last year, your first undefeated season, probably some very special feelings just about being the first unbeaten team for you.
Well, there's no doubt it was a milestone for us as far as Lawrenceville and in our basketball program, and also for my career. 34-0 was almost unbelievable, and here's last year's state trophy right here. And, of course, we don't have this year's championship championship trophy in yet, but we're fixing to get it in there. Of course, this banner, we have to get a new banner now, because we have to add the '83 team in there. And, of course, you can see around here we have some jerseys retired. There's Rick Leasty's picture and his accomplishments, Jay Scheidler's picture and his jersey and his accomplishments, and Dennis Scheidler, who was our first state leading scorer. I'm very proud of the fact that we've had 7 or 8 players go on to play major college basketball in the last 14 years from Lawrenceville. And, of course, we've got Doug Novasak, who last year was an all-state player, and he had our scoring record up to this year until Marty the Mule Simmons broke it, and he's going to Indiana, so we've got to get Marty's picture in his jersey and Doug Nowicek's picture in here yet.
Says a lot for the kids and their desire to play, and they're wanting to play and win.
Well, no, we're proud of that. I think, you know, a school this size, 550, and half of them girls, our basketball program and our tradition and our history, we have a very proud heritage here, and it's really gratifying to me to be part of it, and especially to see young men go ahead and further their education and get basketball scholarships.
Ron, 4 starters back from a team that won 34-0, and the possibility of a second state championship loomed on the horizon. And we'll be back to take a look at the 1982-83 season right after this. The Indians ran through the regular season, rolling up another 25 straight wins, bringing their total to 59 before the tournament. Then it was on to March Madness. Lawrenceville won their own regional, the Bridgeport sectional, before meeting two-time state champ Madison at the Charleston super sectional. The Indians in white trailed only once the entire ball game, but after number 50 Marty Simmons drilled this jumper to make it 5-4, the defending state champions never looked back, as Simmons, a two-time all-state selection, led Lawrenceville with 35 points and 20 rebounds. But even though the Indians broke the state record for consecutive wins with 65, Coach Ron Felling didn't think his team played all that well.
I really don't think we were cooking on all burners like we should have, you know.
How much did the pressure in that winning streak have to do with it?
Well, I'm sure that there's no doubt we've come, you know, culminated 2 years of hard work. We wanted it. There's no use knocking on the door at 64 and then not walking in at 65. So it really means something to us. It means something to me as far as a milestone for me and those kids. Now, Simmons has played in something like 119 or 20 wins and 7 losses during his high school career. So there's no doubt that we're extremely happy, and I think that we were just a little too tight.
The final, Lawrenceville 62 and Madison 48, and it was on to Champaign to defend the title. After slipping by second-ranked Providence St. Mel in the quarterfinal round, 56-54, the Indians had a tall order when they faced Havana in the semifinals. Despite some poor free throw shooting, the Indians got past the Ducks 54-50. The game was up for grabs the entire way, with Lawrenceville's biggest lead being 6 points right before the intermission. But some last-minute charity tosses by Havana tied the game at 32. The contest stayed close up until the final horn. The Indians broke a 46 all-tie when Marty Simmons, who popped in 30 points, got a pair of free throws to fall. Number 20, Ernie Ho, then found the range to make it a 4-point advantage and boost the team to their second straight championship game. For the first time in the 76-year history of the state basketball tournament, 2 unbeaten teams are meeting for the state championship. Unbeaten Lawrenceville 33-0 on this season, and Flanagan 30-0. After the Indians knotted the score at 18 at the intermission, they took their first lead of the game when number 50 Marty Simmons, who had 20 points, made it 20-18 Lawrenceville. But Flanagan answered the call as their 7-footer Bill Bratzik hits this turnaround jumper from the low post for a 3-point play and moved the Falcons up by 1, 21-20. In the third period, the lead changed hands 5 times. The Indians' number 20, Ernie Ho, hits one of 3 big jump shots, but the score was still deadlocked at the end of the quarter.
Ernie Ho can really shoot the ball, and the way they were fouling Simmons, it took 3 quarters for us to almost realize that, hey, it's not going to change. Marty's not going to be. They did a fantastic job on him. We need to punch the ball in the seam as far as we could with Jeff Gear and drop it to Ernie and give him the green light.
The fourth quarter was much of the same, with the lead switching back and forth before number 15, Bill Anthony, popped this one to give Lawrenceville a lead they would never relinquish at 38-37. Flanagan was forced to foul in the last minute of the game. Tim Leasty hit the front end of a 1-and-1 to ice the game for the Indians at 44-39. That's how it ended.
These kids had chances to crack. The pressure's been on them for 68 games, yet they don't know how to lose. They feel that some way, somehow, something's going to happen that they're going to pull it out. And I've got nothing but really love and admiration for them. And our community support was great, and I'm very proud.
By beating Flanagan, Lawrenceville becomes only the 3rd team in IHSA history to win 4 state championships and the first team to have back-to-back unbeaten seasons. For News Center 10 Sports at the Assembly Hall in Champaign-Urbana, I'm Marty Joseph. Ron, you came into this season unbeaten and the preseason favorite to win it all again. Was the heat on not necessarily to go unbeaten, but to win the state championship once again?
Well, I think there was pressure on. There's no doubt. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I put a lot of pressure on the kids, Marty, but there was pressure. So we felt that it was an obtainable goal to win again. We didn't know whether it was going to be undefeated or not, but it would have been a bittersweet taste in our mouth if we didn't get back to Champaign and win another tournament.
Would the winning streak meant as much without a state championship?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm just glad we did both. That way we don't have to think about it like that.
Guys are really close, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. A lot of these guys, we've been playing together since almost 5th grade.
What does all this mean to you?
Well, just about everything, really. You know, growing up in Lawrenceville, everybody wants to play basketball, and once you get up here, then everybody wants to win a championship. And now that we've done that, I don't really think there's a lot more to do.
Have you learned a lot through this?
Yeah, I think I have. The team, you know, has become close-knit. Not only that, but coaches and the community, everything here is just all real close-knit.
What does it mean to you to have back-to-back undefeated seasons, to not have anybody beat you in 2 years?
It's really something, you know, it's hard to believe at first, but I think we deserve it. We've been working here, you know, hard for 2 years, and I think Coach Stein deserves it, and it's really a team effort. I had a lot of fun.
You learn anything out of this?
Yeah, I became more mature through basketball, and it brought me a lot closer to all my friends.
What is your relationship with Ron and the rest of the players on the club?
Well, just like some of the players relayed, it's just like a close family. We spend a lot together, a lot of time together on the basketball floor and, of course, off the basketball floor. Scouting during the season, going to see other teams play, things like this. So we're together quite a bit, and it's just like a family.
How's it been to work with these kids the last 2 years?
Well, they've just been super. I've heard them talk all along here about being friends, but they really respect. The respect they've showed us and the hard work and the things that they've done, now it's really coming out and showing how much really friends they were to us and how much they meant to us and how much I think, have meant to them.
Ron, all the records that you had this year, most consecutive wins, most state championships for Coach, fourth for this team. Are those records all important to you?
Very much so. You know, it comes a milestone in everybody's career, which a person wants to obtain. And there's no doubt we come that close. We were knocking at the door, so why not break it down and enter? So there's no doubt the streak really did mean something, and I'm very proud of the kids and very proud of my achievements as a coach to win 68 straight games.
Also, as a coach, most coaching titles that you've won. I'm sure that you're very proud to have that accomplishment and have the opportunity to have that.
Well, there's no doubt. It's very gratifying when you see a culmination of your work end up with a state title, and it's just been mind-boggling, really, to see the record, 2 back-to-back undefeated state championships. It's something that's kind of a storybook type thing, and I didn't really think that I'd ever be in a position career-wise to ever obtain that. But once the opportunity was there, I just told our kids, why not? Why not us? Why not Lawrenceville? Why can't we win it back to